Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into the essential headlines and insights from February 7, 2025, Part 1. This is all geared towards you, the dedicated UPSC aspirant, helping you get quickly up to speed. We've picked out a mix covering, well, everything from cutting-edge science, global economics, national governance, right through to environmental insights. And look, some of these topics might ring a bell. Maybe we've touched on them before, so it's a good chance to solidify that understanding.
Absolutely. And the goal here, it's not just throwing information at you. It's really about understanding why it matters, seeing the bigger picture, and connecting those dots. That's what gives you the edge.
That's exactly it. So if you're ready to dive deep with us, do remember to like and subscribe. It helps you stay updated consistently. Okay, let's jump right in. First up, a pretty big development in global defense, the Extended Range Attack Munitions Missile, the ERAM. News came out that the Trump administration approved selling 3,350 of these to Ukraine. Now, this isn't just, another weapon system, is it? What makes ERAM stand out right now?
You're right. It's definitely significant. ERAM is sort of a hybrid, really. Think heavy bomb power meets cruise missile range. It's air-launched, precision-guided, next-gen stuff. It's range. Yeah. Well, it depends on the flight path, but you're looking at anywhere from 240 up to maybe 450 kilometers.
Wow, that's quite a standoff distance.
Exactly. And it carries a 500-pound high-explosive warhead. Good for hardened bunkers, fuel depots, you name it. Guidance is smart, too. GPS, virtual navigation. The system that tracks movement without external references plus terminal seeker gets it within about 10 meters.
10 meters accuracy from that far out.
Pretty much. And it's designed to be compact, modular, fits on Western jets like F-16s, maybe even older Soviet-era planes with some retrofitting. They've also designed it for volume production, so it's meant to be cheaper. Strategically, what's fascinating is how it changes the game. It offers both that standoff capability, keeping pilots safer, and real precision against tough targets. It's an evolution in air power.
So, thinking beyond Ukraine, how does this kind of tech potentially redraw regional power dynamics? Something for you to consider. Okay, from defense tech, let's switch gears completely. Into the tiny world inside our cells. Caltech researchers have found new rules for mitochondrial protein import. This actually revises some long-held ideas. We all know mitochondria, right? Powerhouses make ATP. Came from endosymbiosis like a billion years ago. Yeah. But they rely on the host cell for most proteins because many genes move to the nucleus over time. The traditional view was always protein gets fully made in the cytosol, then it gets imported into the mitochondria.
Right, that was the textbook model.
But these new findings show something different. About 20% of mitochondrial proteins, it seems, get imported while they're still being built by the ribosome. Co-translationally?
Yeah, co-translational import. And the why is interesting. It seems to apply mainly to large, complex proteins. If they folded completely out in the cytosol, they might actually get stuck, block the import channels.
Like trying to push something too big through a small door.
Exactly. So the mechanism needs two things. The usual mitochondrial targeting sequence, that's like the address label, but also a second signal. It's the first large protein domain that pops out during synthesis that acts like a sort of code to unlock the boarding pass early, guiding it in while it's still being made.
So it's a much more dynamic process than we thought.
Definitely. And this connects to the bigger picture in biology. It shows how complex and, frankly, elegant these cellular mechanisms are. We're constantly revising what we thought we knew.
Makes you think about the implications for understanding diseases related to protein folding or mitochondrial problems, right? Okay, let's take another leap, this time way back in time. Paleontology now. McGill University researchers have identified a new dinosaur-era dragonfly fossil. It's called Cordualadensa acorni, found in Alberta's Dinosaur Provincial Park, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, by the way. And this is pretty significant because it's the first Mesozoic dragonfly fossil found in Canada. It helps fill a gap, maybe 30 million years in their evolutionary story.
That's a huge gap to fill.
Right. And it's distinctive enough they had to create a whole new family for it, Cordualadensidae. The fossil itself dates back about 75 million years.
So what can we tell from this one fossil?
Well, its wingspan was roughly the width of your hand. And the wing structure suggests it was adapted for gliding, much like some modern dragonflies that migrate long distances.
Interesting. So it tells us something about its behavior, potentially.
Exactly. It would have been part of that Cretaceous ecosystem, probably food for raptors or other predators. It's the first dinosaur-age dragonfly from Canada, first North American member of its group, Pavlobiata. Before this, I think only a tiny aphid fossil had been reported from that specific formation.
It raises that classic question, doesn't it? How do these individual finds, these fragments of the past, help us piece together entire ancient worlds? The biodiversity, the climate, the interactions. It's like detective work on a massive scale.
Absolutely. Really makes you appreciate geological time and just how much life has changed. All right, let's pivot back to the present and to national governance. There's been recent news regarding the National Disaster Management Authority, or NDMA. On August 29th, 2025, the Prime Minister nominated some new members and renominated others. Just a refresher. NDMA is India's top body for disaster management.
Wow.
Set up by the Disaster Management Act of 2005.
And structure-wise, it's quite high level.
Yes. The PM chairs it ex officio. There's a vice chairperson, cabinet minister rank, and up to 8 members with Minister of State rank. It works under the Ministry of Home Affairs based in Delhi.
Its mandate is pretty broad, isn't it?
It is. Laying down policies, plans, guidelines, coordinating implementation, approving plans from ministries and states. The vision is for a safer, disaster-resilient India using proactive, tech-driven strategies.
And the functions cover everything from approving the national plan, framing guidelines, coordinating mitigation efforts,
recommending funds, supporting international relief efforts, overseeing the National Institute of Disaster Management, training, building community resilience. It's comprehensive.
Yep.
And then you have the SDMAs and DDMAs at state and district levels.
What's really key here, I think, is that multi-tiered integrated structure. For a country facing so many different types of disasters, I think NDMA officially covers 12 types. From floods to chemical or nuclear incidents, having that coordinated apex body is critical. It ensures policy flows down and action is integrated across levels.
That's right. For you listeners thinking about UPSC mains, it's worth considering the challenges maybe in making sure those national policies really work effectively across all the diverse district-level situations in India. Okay, let's switch to the economy now. A new product launch that's caught some attention. India's first EMI-based credit card. This comes from Bharatpi and Unity Small Finance Bank. It's called the Unity Bank for RuPay credit card, and it runs on the RuPay network.
EMI-based. So what's the core idea there?
The main innovation is flexibility. You make a purchase, and you can instantly choose to convert it into EMIs, equated monthly installments, or just pay it off in full later. It was developed with MPCI, the National Payments Corporation of India.
Okay, so who's it for?
It seems pretty broad-salaried, self-employed. Onboarding is digital, KYC, credit checks, all through the RuPay app.
And the features. What makes it stand out besides the EMI option?
Well, the auto EMI conversion is key. Up to 12 months. Big one. 0 fees. No joining, no annual, no foreclosure charges. They're calling it lifetime free.
Lifetime free is always appealing.
Right. Plus, you can link it to UPI, so merchant acceptance should be wide. There's a flat 2% reward on EMI transactions, and some premium perks like lounge access and health checkups.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this card feels like a significant step for financial inclusion, wouldn't you say? Especially being on RuPay and linked to UPI, it makes credit potentially more accessible, more manageable for people who might not have qualified for traditional cards or found them too complex or costly. It could really help democratize credit and boost digital payments.
That's a great point. It makes you wonder about the impact on consumption patterns, especially maybe in smaller towns and cities, and how it feeds into the larger digital economy push. All right, from wallets to outer space. The Prime Minister recently welcomed an agreement between ISRO and JSA, that's India's and Japan's space agencies. It's for the Chandrayaan-5 mission under a program called LUPEX, the Lunar Polar Exploration Mission.
Ah, yes, LUPEX, a joint venture.
Exactly. And the main goal is pretty exciting. Explore the moon's southern polar region. They're looking for water, specifically potential surface ice and other resources.
The South Pole is definitely the hot spot for lunar exploration right now.
It seems so. The mission also wants to showcase new tech for surface exploration, think advanced rovers, and, crucially, surviving the incredibly cold lunar night.
So how are ISRO and JXI splitting the work?
JXA is handling the rover development operation. ISRO is responsible for the lander development and operation. The rover sounds quite capable. It'll drive around searching for water, drill to sample soil, measure water content. Apparently, it includes some world-first tech for driving and batteries.
And it's not just ISRO and JXA, right? There's broader collaboration.
Yes, the rover will carry instruments from NASA and NESA too, alongside the Indian and Japanese ones.
What's really fascinating here is that focus on the South Pole. As you said, it's where scientists think water ice might be trapped in permanently shadowed craters. Finding accessible water ice, that would be a game changer for future lunar bases, for generating oxygen, even rocket fuel. This mission is strategically vital.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really underscores the potential of lunar resources and the ongoing dynamics of the global space race, even with collaboration. Okay, let's bring our focus back down to Earth, specifically to environmental policy in India. The Bureau of Energy Efficiency, BEE, recently released the State Energy Efficiency Index, or SEEI, for 2024. This index was developed with AEE, the Alliance for an Energy Efficient Economy. It basically scores all 36 states and UTs on their energy efficiency performance for the financial year 2023-24.
And the point is,
to track progress using data, share best practices, and importantly, create a bit of healthy competition among states to up their game in energy efficiency. This is the 6th edition, and they've updated the framework. It's more implementation-focused now with 66 indicators across sectors: buildings, industry, municipal services, transport, agriculture, discoms, and cross-sector stuff.
So it reflects newer priorities, too.
Exactly. Things like EV policies, star-rated buildings, demand-side management strategies by discoms. It's meant to be a tool to guide state action and help India meet its broader energy and climate goals.
How do they rank the states?
4 categories: frontrunners scoring over 60, achievers between 50 and 60, contenders from 30 to 50, and aspirants below 30. Some highlights: Maharashtra topped the highest consumption group, Andhra Pradesh the next, Assam the one below that, and Tripura led the smallest consumption group.
So you can see performance relative to energy consumption scale.
Yes. And they noted progress, like 24 states notifying the updated Energy Conservation Building Code, 10 states having MSME energy efficiency policies, 31 with EV policies, 13 promoting solar pumps. Kerala apparently hit 74% adoption for those. All states have developed state energy efficiency action plans now, too.
This really raises that question about competitive federalism, doesn't it? How an index like this can genuinely drive states to innovate and implement better energy efficiency measures. It's not just about reporting, it's about spurring action, which is vital for India's energy security and climate commitments.
A great example of policy translating into state-level action. Definitely something important for understanding governance in India. All right, let's circle back to biodiversity for a moment. Another dragonfly story, but this one's about distribution and climate history. Ornithologists, dragonfly experts, reconfirmed the presence of a species called Crocothemis erythraea, the scarlet darter, in the high mountains of the southern western Ghats.
Okay, Crocothemis erythraea, what's the significance?
Well, in India, the genus Crocothemis has 2 main species. C. cervilia is common, you see it in the lowlands. C. erythraea was known mainly from high-altitude places in Europe and Asia, including the Himalayas in India. But recent molecular analysis confirmed that specimens found high up in the western Ghats are indeed C. erythraea, matching the Himalayan ones.
Ah, so it's found much further south than previously confirmed for India.
Well, it seems it was suspected, but now confirmed. And here's the interesting part. In the western Ghats, C. erythraea sticks to the cool high spots above about 550 meters, while its common relative, C. cervilia, stays in the warmer lowlands below 600 meters. They've partitioned the habitat by altitude.
So how did it get there? Way down south in the western Ghats, isolated from the Himalayas.
The researchers have a hypothesis. They think C. erythraea probably spread south across India during the last ice age, the Pleistocene, when things were cooler.
Makes sense, temperate species moving south.
Right. But then, as the climate warmed up after the ice age, these southern populations got stranded in the cool mountaintops like the Shola forests and high-altitude grasslands around Munnar and Parambiculum. They became isolated relics.
Wow. So what's fascinating there is how these dragonflies act as living indicators of past climate change. The current isolated distribution is like a fossil record, showing us how species ranges shifted and how some populations adapted by retreating to these cool sky islands. It tells a powerful story about climate impacts over millennia.
A living fossil record. That's a great way to put it. Really drives home the long-term effects of climate change on where species can survive. Okay, let's turn now to global economics and institutions. A significant appointment. Former RBI Governor Urjit Patel has been appointed as an executive director at the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. His tenure is for 3 years, and he'll be representing a constituency that includes India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Bhutan.
The IMF, a major global player.
Indeed. Just a quick reminder, global financial body, set up back in 1944 at Bretton Woods. Now has 191 members. Liechtenstein just joined last October. Its core jobs are promoting monetary cooperation and ensuring financial stability. It operates on a quota system, linking contributions to voting power.
And its broader mission.
Foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate trade, promote high employment and sustainable growth, and reduce poverty. It often acts as a lender of last resort, usually with conditions attached to those structural adjustment programs we hear about. Importantly, it lends to governments, not individuals. India's been a member right from the start, 1945.
And the governance structure involves the Board of Governors, the IMFC, and the Executive Board, right?
Exactly. Board of Governors is the top body, meets annually. The IMFC advises them. And the Executive Board, where Urjit Patel will sit, handles the day-to-day business alongside the managing director.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, having someone like Urjit Patel in that executive director role, it's quite important, isn't it? The IMF isn't just about loans. It's hugely influential in setting global economic policy norms and dialogue. India having strong, experienced representation there is crucial for ensuring its perspective, and that of other developing nations in its constituency is effectively voiced in shaping global financial governance.
Absolutely. It makes you think about India's growing influence on these global stages. And finally, let's end today's deep dive with agriculture, focusing on a unique local variety. The Union Agriculture Minister announced that ICAR, the Indian Council for Agricultural Research, will study how to protect the Nanjangud Rasabale banana. This banana variety is specific to the area around Mysore and Chamrachandgarh districts in Karnataka.
Nanjangud Rasabale. Wow. What makes it special?
It got a geographical indication, a GI tag, back in 2006. That's because it has this unique, thick pulp, a very distinct taste and aroma that apparently you just don't find elsewhere. They say it's down to the specific soil there, black clay alluvial saline soil. That's what gives it the unique characteristics. It's even believed to have some medicinal properties, potentially for neurological issues.
Interesting. So a valuable local product. What's the threat ICAR is looking into?
The big one is Panama wilt disease, the nasty fungal infection caused by the Fusarium wilt pathogen, and it can devastate banana crops.
Ah, Panama disease is notorious.
Yes, and just briefly on ICAR, it's the autonomous body under the Ministry of Agriculture, set up way back in 1929. It's the apex organization coordinating agricultural research and education across India, horticulture, fisheries, animal sciences, the lot. Huge network, over 100 institutes, dozens of agricultural universities.
So what's fascinating here is how the GI tag recognizes and protects the unique cultural and economic heritage tied to this specific banana. But then you have this biological threat, the Panama wilt, highlighting the constant challenges in agriculture. ICAR's intervention becomes vital not just for science, but for protecting local livelihoods and conserving this specific piece of agricultural biodiversity. It's where science meets heritage and economics.
That's a perfect summary. It really shows the value of GI protection and the essential role of research in keeping these unique agricultural traditions viable against modern threats. Wow, okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, from ERAM missiles, mitochondrial biology, ancient dragonflies,
to the NDMA, India's first EMI card, the OLUPEX mission.
State energy efficiency, another dragonfly story with climate links, the IMF appointment, and finishing with the Nanjangud banana. That was all from February 7th, 2025, Part 1.
It really shows the breadth of topics relevant for UPSC preparation, doesn't it? And the key is seeing the connections between them, how defense tech impacts geopolitics, how basic science can lead to medical insights, how policy tools drive state action.
Absolutely. So as you continue studying, maybe take a moment to think about those intersections. How does a discovery in one field ripple into others? How might a global decision impact something very local? What connections do you see as most critical right now? That's something to mull over. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Please do like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and we'll catch you on the next one.